Today we are hanging out with Jeff Irwin from Foreign Film. Jeff, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, very well. How are you, Tom?
I'm here with you. How could it possibly be any worse? I mean, better.
You've got a new band called Foreign Film because Foreign Film isn't your first. It's definitely not your maybe third or fourth but radio, rodeo. That's the thing
Right.
where you ride the bull. You first teased many, many years ago a project that you were working on called Goodbye Black Sky. So when this new band Foreign Film was announced, I had immediately wondered whether it was evolution of the original Black Sky or Goodbye Black Sky project that you're working on. And I got my hands on the album, and I've already listened to it several times. And it became pretty apparent with lyrics in certain songs, and especially a track called Black Sky, that it probably was.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny you saw that because yeah, we did have a little project we were doing called Goodbye Black Sky, and it was basically the same guys that are in foreign film now, me and Adrian and Mitch and Sean. And Will Haven was kind of on a break, so we just started this band just for fun because you know we love metal, but we're not all metal heads. We love like Hum and Radiohead, and like so we were like wanting to experiment with that a little bit. And our goal was to not really be a band; it was more just to play locally in Sacramento, just have fun, play with some other bands that we haven't got to play with before. And we wrote about 10 songs. We posted a video online on YouTube that for actually it was Black Sky, but it had no lyrics or nothing with it. It was just the music. And we just put up their fun, and the reception was awesome. Everybody's like, "I love this. What is this? Like, what are you guys going to do with this?" And I'd totally forgotten about it. And then when our last Will Haven record was done, I was kind of just going through stuff, and I pulled up that video, and it had like 8,000 views on it. I'm like, wow, that's more than views than even some Will Haven music gets. So that's weird that people actually like this that much. And so I went to the other guys. I'm like, hey, we should like try to get dive back into this a little bit and just see what we can come up with. And so, but I was like, I think I want to change the name because if we're going to do this as a real band, I'd like to somehow connect it with our legacy to Will Haven because it's the same guys really, except for that Grady. And so I was like, how about foreign film? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. So it is an offshoot of Goodbye Black Sky, but this is more of a serious thing than Goodbye Black Sky is more just a fun thing where this is we're taking it a little more seriously.
This has been sitting on my desk for the last, I think, like 2 months. And I'm like, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. Then I realized last night I'm chatting to you and I'm like, fuck, I should probably watch that. So I watched foreign films last night for the very first time. Eye-opening, very much what I expected of Will Haven around that period with the aesthetic, like all the porn cutaways and stuff. Like it was very it's part of it was very much in line with the aesthetic that I associate with tracks like Carpe Diem and stuff. So yeah, it was fucking sick, man.
Yeah,
Never,
that was
yeah,
our friend Brad who actually did the Carpe Diem video. He did that. He put that together,
Yeah,
and the
train
whole
wreck.
porn thing was hilarious because that was when we were in Japan, and we were on tour in Japan, and in our hotel room they were like literally it was porn on just regular TV. And so Mike, our bass player, just kept like filming the TV commercials. But it was just straight up porn. And so that was on the reel that we gave to Brad. And he's like, "Oh, I got to use this. I got to put it in the documentary." So then we're like, "That's maybe a little too much," but but yeah, that was like that's just filming just random stuff in Japan.
I love it. Remind me never to fall asleep around you guys too.
Yeah,
Who was that poor guy who woke up with no eyebrows?
which one?
Someone woke up with no eyebrows.
Oh yeah, that was so we were on tour with this band there. I think it was Sugar Coma. They were opening up for us in Fear Factory, and
Mhm.
we shared a bus with them. And their sound guy was just this total funny guy, and he would get wasted, and then he just started kind of talking shit to us. And so we
Uh-oh.
just kept messing with him more and more. And then one night he got wasted and fell in, like passed out, and then we just destroyed him. And he was so mad. Like he's like, I know people at customs. When you guys go to the airport, they're gonna search you and like throw you in jail. This thing was hilarious.
Between your different projects, they all unmistakably have your fingerprint on them. But what for you with the foreign film project were your points of difference? Like, what did you really want to express that you maybe hadn't done in other bands? I mean, the obvious one is that in this album, you're doing the vocals.
Well, when we started Goodbye Black Sky, it was I just wanted to be the four of us, and And I was like, well, I'll just try to sing because I sang on a couple things before, and I was like, I'm not a good singer at all, but I was like, I'll just try it because when you're in a band, you want to have the band be your homies, right? Like everybody's, in a good place and having fun and no drama. And I was like, well, instead of just bringing somebody in we don't know, I'll just try to do it and just have fun with it. So it was like something I was like, I'll just try it because I'm up for the challenge. I'm always up to trying to do something different, hard, and challenging myself. And so I just took a crash course with some friends of mine, and they helped me in the studio, just work on some vocals and try to become somewhat of a singer. Um, and I think when we started this project, we had just come off writing Seven with Will Haven, which is like probably one of our heavier records we've written. And so for me, it was like, I want to go 180 opposite. Like, I don't want to be as heavy. I want to scale that back and kind of bring out more of our Pink Floyd inspirations, and not be so in your face. And so I think that's why the record's a little scaled back. I mean, there is some heavy guitars in there, but it's not in your face. And that was kind of the whole purpose of it. Maybe if being a couple years after, I might have made the guitars a little heavier just to give it that little more Will Haven vibe to it. But at the time, I was like, I'm done with heavy music right now. I want to do something a little more calmer. And so that's why it kind of came out the way it did. But it's funny because the newer stuff we're writing is a little more heavier guitar oriented. But I think it was me just getting away, wiping the palette clean, just like let me start something fresh and new and a little quieter and something I can like build into instead of just throwing something out there that people would expect, I guess.
I was noting last night when I was listening to it, I was like, man, I wonder if these are Jeff's vocals. So well done, man. I was thinking,
Thank you.
damn, like these are, this is pretty good, particularly for a guy who does not consider himself a singer at all.
Yeah, I'm not. And I think I did it because I just didn't want to bring anybody else into the fold that we didn't know, because it's hard bringing somebody new into the band and trying to like establish a relationship with them. And maybe the stuff they would have sang, I wouldn't have liked. And I'm like, this has been an awkward situation. So I was like, I'll take the hit. If people don't like it, I'm cool with it. I'll respect that. And I'll just, I'll take it on the head and I'll deal with it. I can deal with it. So it was like, okay, it's a win-win because I can keep control of like what we sound like and keep it within our family and, not have to put up with any egos or any like weird front man thing that people get when they get in a band and stuff. So it's been a nice transition, and definitely I've worked hard at it, trying to like create a voice that's my own and not try to rip off my friends or sound like somebody else. Or that's the hard part, but it's coming together slowly but surely.
Yeah, I think sort of another common theme, or I don't know, it's almost like a secret weapon that's followed you through projects from Will Haven to Ghost Ride to now foreign film as well, as having Mitch Wheeler as your drummer, and just how sort of distinctive his kick patterns are and how well they, even though it's clearly him on all these recordings, but how well they lend themselves to all these different flavors of music that you're creating. Like I almost like it to like getting a Thai massage in a magnesium bath. You're just like so relaxed but getting pummeled at the same time. I can just focus on the kick throughout all of your recordings and everything else can fall away, and just that flowy patterns that he comes up with. Yeah, I just absolutely love them.
Yeah, he's well, not only is he my big brother and my bodyguard, but he's like an amazing drummer, like he's one of those guys that is he could just not play drums for a year, come back and still be exactly how he was when he left. He's just that good. And his kick drums always amazed me. He's always been like has the best kick drum patterns and comes up with the coolest beats. And we actually have a new song that we wrote that he wrote the whole middle part for, even the bass line. I was like, see, like you were such a good songwriter. Like you have it in you. Like, I love that about you. So yeah, he's a little more than just a drummer. He's a good songwriter too, for sure.
When it came to producing the foreign film album, you've been blessed to have friends that are also amazing producers, such as Eric Stenman and Sean Lopez. With this record, you've gone with Weston Ray and Robert Kerr. And I tried to do a bit of looking around on the internet to find some information about these guys, and I couldn't find much. So I was hoping you'd tell us a little bit about the choice to work with them and how the experience was.
Yeah, it was blind luck. So Robert Kerr is a brother of one of my best friends. And he had mentioned to me a long time ago, he's like, I have a studio at my house, you should come check it out. So I checked it out, and then he actually helped out with some other stuff that I did. And he's like, hey, my friend has a studio down the street. You should go, just go look at it. It's pretty amazing. So I went there and I looked at it, and the studio is awesome. It's like top of the line studio. It's at this guy's house. It's very private. It's not open to the public. And Weston was the guy who ran the studio. And I was like, Weston, I'd like to do just like maybe one song here, just see what it sounds like here. And he's like, yeah, come on in. And we recorded a couple songs, and it sounded amazing. I'm like, yeah, I think I want to do it here. Do you mind if like we do the whole record here? And he's like, yeah, I'm free. Let's do this. So for the next, we were supposed to only take a couple months, but it ended up taking a year and a half. So we were in this private studio for a year and a half, and we just became like super close. I mean, Robert was there the whole time, and Weston was engineer and producer, and Robert was the producer, and it was just pretty much a lot of the three of us most of the time in there. And those are the guys and Weston works with a lot of R&B singers, a lot of hip hop artists. He's done stuff with 50 Cent, stuff like that. And so for him, like vocals to him are a big deal. And so when I started singing, he's like, that's not it. That's not going to work. Go home, practice. So he got me like practicing. And those are the guys that molded me into like coming up with song ideas and structures and how to sing and try to be on pitch and key. And so I owe everything to them as far as like making something from nothing vocally. And then Wes is just an amazing like guy. He's a drummer, so he loves big drums, and so they just nailed it. Everything that I wanted this project to sound like is what they brought to the table. And I love that they're kind of unknown too, because like when I first heard the Hum record, and I when I heard the first Hum record, I was like, who produced this? And I had to like look for his name, and I was like searching for him. And so I love people that are just not in the spotlight, but they create something, and you're just like, whoa, who are these people? I want to learn about them. So I love that aspect of it too. But they're just they turned out to be some of my best friends and just good guys, and I would work with them all over again.
Sounds like exactly what you want in a producer, essentially on your record, someone that supports you but also challenges you.
Yeah, and they were 100% involved in it, and they didn't really go anything past like wrong time, do the wrong note, like nope, do it again, stop. Like they were almost and more invested in it than I was at times, and I love that. I was like, I'm so excited to work with real producers, because I mean, Eric was a great producer, but he's also an amazing engineer, and he would kind of just let us do what we wanted to do. Sean produced a lot on our stuff, but these guys were just like any day off, they wanted to work still. Like, oh, tomorrow's off, let's go in the studio. They were like that excited to work on this project. So that just made me feel so much better about everything and kept me happy in a good spot and excited about it.
Before we started officially rolling on the interview, I confessed that you are one of my big musical influences, and there is somewhat of a meme format of what is your Mount Rushmore. And for me, my Mount Rushmore of musical influences is like you're George Washington, then you've probably got Ben Weinman from the Dillinger Escape Plan, then it would probably be Les Claypool from Primus. Wow. And then your Lincoln down the end would have to be some kind of magical morphing rock of the Patton verse that like warps in and out of like Trace Bruins and Billy Gould. So that one's a bit of a cheat one. But I was wondering, as far as musical influences, who is your Mount Rushmore?
Wow, that's good. Thanks. That's pretty good company right there. That's awesome. For me, I think the guy that the thing that changed me the most when I was a kid, I've always been like Michael Jackson, stuff like that growing up. But then when I saw actually, this is how old I am. I saw Pink Floyd on the Momentary Lapse of Reason tour, and that was their first tour without Roger Waters. And I went to the show and I sat like 12 rows from the front, and I knew a couple songs. I knew their hits are basically, but the sound and like David's playing and just the whole like show of that would just blew me away. I was like 13 years old. And after that, to me, Gilmore was like my Mount Rushmore guitar players. Like anything he did was gold, And so that was like kind of changed me as like wanting to be like a real musician. I was like, I want to do that. That looked cool. And not that, they were like slamming on stage or how these like, it was just like the sound and the lasers, and there was a show, and I was like, I want to put on a show for people, and so that was my number one. And then just growing up with like the guys you mentioned, like Sean Lopez, like he was my roommate when I moved in with him when I was 18 years old, and he taught me everything about guitar and like songwriting. And then Stefan, I lived with Stefan for a little bit from Deftones, and like same as Sean, like they didn't play lead guitar, or they weren't doing solos, they weren't shredding, they're just playing chords and making just songs. And so that was like, that taught me when I started Willhaven, I was like, I want to do that. I don't want to be a shredder. I don't want to play leads. Like, even, but it was funny because I had that, that's what David Gilmour does. He plays a lot of leads and great solos, but I also had that, the schooling of just play songs and just write chords and make chords sound really cool, you know? And so I put Stefan and Sean and David Gilmour, and those would be my like my guitar gods up there, you know. And then you always have to admire like the Andy Van Halen and stuff like that. But I think as far as songwriting and still being an inspiration to this day would be those three for sure.
Definitely a very cool and special thing to have your friends also be your inspiration.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool, and they're awesome guys too. Like Stefan and Sean are some of my best friends in the world, and how accomplished they are and how good they are. It's always amazed me that I got to grow up with those guys. It's crazy.
Can you bully Steph so he'll get on an
I
airplane and actually
know, I
turn
know.
up?
I was talking to Abe about that the other day, and it's sad because now they're the biggest they've ever been,
Ah,
and that the fact that he's not like relishing in that like 24/7, like it kind of breaks my heart. But I get it. I get his side of the whole thing, and I support him either way. I love
yeah.
the guy, and he's paid his dues. If he doesn't want to go on tour, he totally deserves it. It's
Hey,
his
look, I'm
prerogative.
not saying what it is
But
wild though. Like, did you ever see Deftones late, like all of a sudden just in the last couple of years? Because they've been my favorite, obviously,
yeah,
they've been my favorite band since I was in high school. Holy crap, I did not see them like see this late stage. I think like TikTok or something, the whole Gen Z discovered them and it just went pew.
that's what I had heard. I mean, I didn't. I kind of heard rumblings about it. I've been friends with those guys forever, so I didn't really notice anything different because I'm just a fan or whatever, and I didn't. But then I went and saw them after COVID. They did their tour with Gojira, and I saw them in Phoenix. I went to the show in Phoenix, and I was walking around in the concourse area, and I was like, "There's a lot of young kids here. This is weird. Like this is almost like when we were on tour with them in '97. It was the same people. It was like goth girls and like younger kids. Like I feel like I'm in '97 again. This is weird."
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Like it actually, like there's a younger following that just like somehow caught on to them, and now they're just their favorite band, which is awesome. And it makes sense because their music is trans. It everybody can love their music from older to younger to like it just has so many good like dynamics to it and beautiful songwriting and lyrics. And I get it. So it doesn't. It's not. I don't. To me, it's not a fad. It just people have
Yeah.
discovered really good music. It's cool to
You
see
love
that.
to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In a couple of months, they are literally playing 5 minutes down the road from me at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre. Tom and I are desperately trying to get press and media access for that show. So, yeah, Jeff, if you can pull any strings for us, that would be
Hogan.
greatly appreciated.
What's funny is like now that Stefan's not playing, Lance, who's playing guitar, and Sean Lopez is playing guitar with them now, like two of my best friends in the world. So now I'm getting hit up for like all kinds of stuff. Now I'm like, I know you, Sean and Lance, are your best friends. Like, get me in. I'm like, I'm not, I can't. I don't know. So now I'm getting the worst of it.
Fine. Back to me being a super fan. Many years ago, you had the WHVN podcast, and I was somewhat wondering when you saw my name requesting the interview for you, whether you might have clicked on a Rashid from Australia, because I basically serial pested you on that podcast.
I know now you bring that up. I vaguely remember that. Yeah, I actually do.
I had this idea to go back to the podcasts and record and play back for you every time you said my name, which was many times. And I loved it every time. But on the SoundCloud where you keep the podcasts, there was only two of them left up.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I skimmed through, and it was one of the rare ones where I probably thought, you're going a bit far with this, Rashid. You probably should chill out and give him a break from you for a second. And I didn't write in. So I'm like, shit, there's only one left where maybe I'm in there. And you said my name. And it was like, if there was going to only be one, it was the one. And I've actually got a little excerpt that I'd like to play for you, if that's okay.
All right.
Oh, this is a first, Jeff. We don't normally get multimedia in this, so I'm in suspense too.
Hopefully it works.
Next order of business, we have a winner. Oh, shit. For the autograph CD. Oh, nice. The winner was your boy, Jeff Torsky, Rashid. Wow. Yeah, Rashid. Rashid. So, Rashid, please email me your address and I'll get the CD out to you pronto. Nice. Allah Akbar!
Now, Jeff, it's been 11 years, much
You
like
didn't get that CD.
much like a neon green Haro bike. Where the fuck is my CD?
Oh yeah, well I'd have to send you one now, right? I'll get that to you. I know that's so fun. It's funny because I didn't think anybody would listen to that thing. Like I think like the first episode we had like 500 listeners. After that, it was just like down to 100 to 50. It got worse and worse. But like at the point we were like just doing it for fun, because we were just bored because we practiced like a couple times a week, and then one night we're like, let's not practice, let's just do like a podcast. And so we would just sit around and just talk crap, and then we'd have our friends on or whatever once in a while. But we had a blast doing it. It was just so much fun. And like now we would probably get canceled after people heard that stuff because like we were just being idiots. But that's so funny that like you have that. But I'll send you a CD. I'll get it signed for you.
Signed specifically by Chris Fenn. So are you guys still in touch? Can you still get that one?
Oh yeah, I talk to Chris all the time still. He's one of my best friends. Yeah, I talked to him quite a bit.
How's he doing?
The other day actually. So he's doing good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely not going to hold you to any of that. And I said I would much prefer your signature than Fenn's, but it would all still be very, very cool.
I'll get everybody to sign it.
Absolutely amazing. Now, Tom mentioned a bit before about, you pestering Stefan to jump on a plane and come to Australia, but it has also been many, 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 many years since you have been to Australia. Do you have any touring plans for foreign film at the moment, local or hopefully international?
We don't. I think it's one of those projects where it's like we're just kind of wait and just see what happens with it. I think that we're totally independent. We have no label, we have no manager, we have nothing. I'm basically running the whole show. I paid for the record, paid for the vinyl. I'm kind of acting manager. So, and I was kind of doing that for Will Haven for the last like 10 years. So I kind of know not to have huge expectations of anything, and just kind of just take it as it comes. And if things do well, then we'll definitely consider doing something. But I'm not going to go, yeah, we're going to charge the world and, this band's going to be huge. It's not that at all. It's like, I think for us to just start slow, play locally. We've had people reach out that want to get us to certain cities, whatever, and I'll entertain the idea. So if it works out, for this band, this band is so fun to play live and almost more fun than Will Haven in a sense, because Will Haven is just straight, brutal, like intense workout for an hour. Like after Will Haven, I have no voice, my abs hurt, my head hurts, and I can't even remember the songs I played half the time because I'm just headbanging the whole time, and so it's just kind of a blur. But with this song, I can sit back, the songs are fun to play. I'm not headbanging the whole time. There's a lot of dynamics to it. I get to sing, which is kind of cool. And it just sounds like when I'm playing it live, I can hear everything really well, and I can feel it, and it's just a lot of fun to play these songs. So for me, I would love to play live as much as we can. And so if that takes us to Australia, I would love to do that. And the guys in the band are they're my best friends in the world. So if I get to travel with them and do stuff with them, that'd be just icing on the cake, So yeah, I'd love to, for sure. If we can make it over there, I'll drag us over there for sure.
Well, we'd love to have you. And another thing that's fairly close by to me, other than the Brisbane Entertainment Centre, a little bit further down the road, maybe about a good half hour, 45-minute drive away, is Australia Zoo, which is, made by an Australian legend, set up by the amazing Steve Irwin, who you share a last name with. So I was wondering if you were ever going to hunt a predator to really make your name. What would you hunt, Jeff?
I don't know. That's a good one. I think if I had to hunt one, it would be a shark. Because I surf, as you can see in the surfboards behind me, and if I don't like hurting animals, but if I had to protect myself against something, and it would be a shark being out in the water. So
we'll say wrestler. There we go. What animal would you wrestle Steve
Oh,
Irwin?
wrestler.
All right. We'll call you a shark. Jeff Irwin, the shark wrestler.
I don't know. I don't think I wrestle anything. 2 weeks. I don't know. Yeah, that guy. I mean, I don't have the balls Steve Irwin does. That's for sure. That guy's a legend.
No, he certainly is. And yeah, friendly tussles with sharks does make for good imagery though as well. It's pretty funny.
Not a friendly one. If he attacks me, then it has to be on. I'm not going out without a fight.
That's it. Go down swinging. Now, another band of yours that we've already mentioned throughout the interview, that again I'm a huge fan of, is Ghost Ride, and I was considering asking you a question about how your relationship with Cale Hunter is, because how he then went on to join you in Willhaven and was subsequently let go from the band. And I thought, well, before I even broach this topic, let's also just do a little bit of research and jump on, because it's been a while since I've checked up on Armed for the Apocalypse. And yeah, my mind was absolutely blown when there was a picture on there that was posted about 4 weeks ago of Ghost Ride, not only with you and Cale looking like good buddies, but Mike Martin was in that photo as well. What the fuck is going on?
No, we've always been super close. So yeah, Cale was my roommate for a long time, and then when Willhaven broke up, he and I just started let's start a band together. And so we started this project that became Ghost Ride, and then I recruited Ray into the band as our singer. And then we did some stuff with Ghost Ride, and then of course Willhaven always seems to find its way to creep back into my life. And so Willhaven came back in, and we started doing shows, and I asked Cale just to fill in for second guitar on that. So we did just a couple tours with Willhaven, and then Cale had, I think he'd moved or something, or I had moved, and he moved out to a different place. And that's when I became roommates with Lance, who's in Deftones now. Me and Lance became roommates, and then I actually took Lance with us on tour as our second guitar player after Cale. So we just kind of a switch of like guitar players. So Cale moved away, and I moved in with Lance, and so Lance was just Lance was, let's go, hop in the van, let's go. So it was more that than anything. And then this was a long time ago. So probably during Muerte, we were writing Muerte, which is what that came out 10 years, or I don't know how long ago this. That so writing Muerte, and we played a show in San Francisco, and Ray had come to our show in San Francisco, and he's like, "Hey, Cale's been working on some Ghost Ride ideas. Would you be in?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do this. It'd be awesome." So that was probably almost 10 years ago that we had this initial idea of doing some more Ghost Ride stuff. And then it slowly became a little bit more serious. Then we were trading songs back and forth and adding ideas. And then we kept saying, well, let's go to the studio, but we never did. And then so one day I called up everybody. I'm like, I booked a studio time for this date. Let's all be there and let's record at least 3 songs. So we went in and recorded 3 songs. They're already done. And then it just kind of sat in the burner again. We didn't do anything. And then Cale's like, all right, I finished everything. Let's go and let's make a real studio time. And so we went in, and that's when you saw the picture of us in the actual studio recording. So we recorded 16 songs. All the drums are done. We're just doing guitars now, and then vocals and stuff. So, but I think the only way we would get back together or start Ghost Ride is if everybody was back in, all the original members. So we're like called Mike and like, Mike, you got to come to Sacramento and record. And he's like, all right, I'm in. So yeah, it was just, but Ghost Ride is one of those, just like Willhaven or any other projects we have, if we're all best friends. Like, I mean, I've known Ray forever. Cale's my roommate and one of my best friends forever. I mean, Mitch is in the band. Mike's was the original member for Willhaven. So it's like, these are my best friends in the world, and we just love playing music together. And so we all have like 8 different bands that we play in, but it's all the same people pretty much, like, so, I mean, it's just how it is in the Sacto scene. Like we all just kind of ancestrally just pass each other to each band and do band stuff together. So it's more of just an extension of our friendship. Like we're in the studio, we just laugh the whole time, and like we got stuff done, but we were just joking around the whole time, just having a good time. But we will have a Ghost Ride record coming out, I would assume, probably next year, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
The music is insane.
beyond keen for that. In
Yeah,
some
it's
aspects, Ghost Ride might be my favorite of your projects. I've got, the hand numbered EP that you first put out somewhere back in there in the darkness of the void in my box of treasures. My Ghost Ride shirt I literally wore till that became threads. It had to be ripped off my body by my wife. Not in a sexy way. Yeah, so that is absolutely amazing. And perhaps that also means somewhere out floating there is maybe, the return of Sock.
we just played a show recently. So we put out our demo tape that we put on Spotify. It's on Spotify now. And then Eric Stedman's band, Barbarians of California, they just I don't know if you heard of them yet. They played their first shows in LA, and Eric asked Will Haven to play, and I was like, "Hey, do you mind if Sock plays a couple songs?" And so he's like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome." So I ended up, got Grady and Sean and Adam, the original guys, to like go for it. So we actually played 3 songs at the Troubadour in LA. That was probably about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, and it was awesome. It was fun. Like I got to sit behind the kid again and like play at the Troubadour of all places. It was fun. I just think with that band, everybody's just between Sean with him and being Deftones and crosses and stuff. It's like pinning that guy down is very hard. So as much as we would love to do something, it just I don't that's one project that I don't think would happen unless like Sean just like booked out a serious amount of time to like write music. But he's busy, understandably so.
Fair enough. But yes, I will definitely go and hunt that demo down pretty much as soon as this call has ended. But speaking of this call ending, we are about to run out the clock on this one. I would love to keep you captive in my computer screen for as long as I possibly could. Hopefully, my sycophanting fanboying hasn't been too much for you.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
yes, when Ghost Ride's ready to go, or any project you have happening, if there's ever any excuse for us to catch up and chat again, believe me, I am keen.
Yeah, I'll let you know. We definitely got some stuff in the works. Horn Film, Ghost Rider's coming out. Yeah, we got some stuff happening. So yeah, we'll keep in touch.